and the awkward silence. And hey, welcome back, everybody. I know it said 30 seconds, but just like I tell my wife, that sounds like forever. So we're going to start the episode a little early. Welcome back to another episode of Hops News. I am Mash, and alongside me is Hoppy. And tonight we have a special guest with us. Thor Odinson has come down from Asgard, or what was left of Asgard anyways. And we're here tonight. So how you guys doing? What's up? How are you?
Very good.
I'm
Not
wonderful.
as good as Thor Odinson, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
Well, I've been better, you see. Oh.
Thor, what's going on back there? What's going on, Thor?
I've seen
Well,
pictures of you recently.
I
It
can't
looks like
find
you
my
lost
hammer.
weight.
You look like you lost a little weight, Thor. How you doing?
I have.
What do you-
I've just got a little bit of the carb belly. I listened to my mother, and I started eating salads.
Salads. But don't put
Ah.
beer on your salads like some of us are known to do. Lauren.
One time,
Hoppy.
not known
No,
to do.
the rabbit
One
takes all my beer.
Well, we're here tonight.
I found my
we're gonna
hammer.
talk with Thor some more. We're gonna talk beers. We're gonna talk Podavengers. We're talking NBA, and then unfortunately, we're gonna talk Super Bowl, a repressed memory I don't want to talk about, or it hasn't happened yet. But Anyways, I'm drinking Haze from Treehouse. And this is from the motherland, and I'm excited. What are you guys drinking? Hoppy, what do you got on tap?
I just cracked open a Pontoon Brewing and Ology collab that you actually shared on the Hops News page recently. So you got the little otter doing the math. Yeah, it's delicious. It's a double IPA, and it is very, very smooth. So I think they said this was their anniversary beer or something. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, they just celebrated their 3rd anniversary. Pontoon did, and we had Sean on here back in September. We had Front Porch. That's the thing I shared. Front Porch Drinking. We shared their article, but yeah, it's crazy because Pontoons have been around 3 years, yet they are everywhere it seems, and they're doing amazing things. I've got their brownie batter. I was lucky enough to get one of their brownie batter batches, which you can only really get at the brewery. But thank God I know some people. Not gonna out names. I can't out my source, my dealer. But
So everybody hits them up.
everybody hits him up. No, he's mine. You stay away. And
Oh, I know who it is.
oh yeah, Hoppy knows. But this ain't your normal drug dealer, kids. That said, Thor, are you still drinking beers? What's up? How you doing tonight, Thor? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking the Bearded Iris
Ooh, that's a good brewery.
Brewing
Oh, Bearded Iris. They're from Nashville, are they not?
IPA. I don't know. I guess they are.
They are. They are a Nashville because I know in our Hops News family, shout out to Corey. He sent me one or two before, and they make really good beers. They do a lot of good different kind of things there. And Nashville has a sneaky good beer scene. A lot of people don't realize it, but Nashville's low key really good on the beer scene. And
Yeah, I've been out
It's
there
quite
since I was a
wonderful.
good to hear it, Thor. So before we dive too far in, I got a kind of a funny story before we talk some NBA news. So on the Geeks Twitter, we have a Twitter page now. If you just search Hops Geek News or Geek Pod, that's what we're at. And I've been hitting it pretty hard. It's me who kind of sits there and I just share a bunch of dumb stuff all day. I've been talking.
I don't tweet about the Bachelorette.
No, I tweet about the Bachelorette because everyone should know about the Bachelorette. Come on, but
No, they
I've made some friends throughout the podcast there or different podcasting networks, and so what I like to do is people ask for podcast recommendations, and so I'll pimp ourselves out. But also, there's some podcasts that are doing really great things. So there's like Game for a Movie, there's Watch Comics, there's Effin' Nerds, For Nerds by Nerds, Dad's on Dayquil. That's a hilarious one. So there's a few others in there that are really good. So I tag like a whole long list, like Hop Heroes, a bunch of. So I tagged maybe 18 different podcasts in this. Some dude who I'm gonna kind of out his name on Twitter because you'll see why here soon. He was like, give me movies, podcasts, all that stuff. So I was sitting there, watching The Bachelor or whatever I was doing, and I was like, shit, here, check all these podcasts out. And this dude was like, no thanks, get ratioed. First of all, whatever the fuck that means. I'm an old man. What the hell does get ratioed mean? I honestly have no idea. But I was like, Okay. I sent a. He did it to everybody who was sending him podcast recommendations. So clearly, this douchebag did not want podcast recommendations. He just.
He wanted like one.
Well, what happened was his dad probably left to get cigarettes about 7 years ago, never came back. Or if he does, his dad probably throws beer bottles at him every night because he's such a disappointment and wish he was never made. But so I sent a GIF pretty much saying like, okie dokie, you know, and then a couple of the podcasts like Dad's on Dayquil, they said something, and then this dude just started firing off at us, and it was the most beautiful. I could shed a tear at what happened from this point on. So other podcasts I tagged, they jumped in. They're like, you know, what's the matter with you? Like, what is your deal, dude? And this dude, he started throwing racial slurs out which is hilarious.
Ooh.
It's only hilarious because this is like one of those emo white kids. Now, I'm an emo white kid, but this kid, he's one of those, like, you can tell mom doesn't hug him.
So it's like the kid that got twisted teed.
Yeah. He yells, he's like starting to spout off. And one of the podcasts, Dad's on Dayquil, like the wrong, we're all white people. Come on. Like, first of all, you shouldn't be saying this. Second of all, like, what the hell is your problem, man? And so his fucking Twitter handle is eat yeet delicio, which that's, if you're on a fucking loser just off that Twitter handle, go find this dude first of all. And it's like his name is Mike Cashmore. Just look him up on Twitter and you'll see. And so he brought the rage of like 18 to 20 podcasts down on him, and we all just laid into this man and just like tore him up. Eventually, he got banned. He posted something today because I have an alternate account, which is my personal one. And his bio is podcasts I argued with. If you read this, I just got banned and don't want you blowing up my notifications. And then he's like, so I'm not going to argue with 30 plus podcasts again. So he started firing off like racial slurs at us and then deleted his account because we just ripped him to shreds because he was a piece of shit. Like, dude, first of all, don't be saying that stuff. Second of all, you ask, we were happy to oblige. And my man just got too crazy with it. Like, Thor, I could have used you last night to, put the fear of God in this man. But we went in there, handled business, and what came out of it was a beautiful friendship. We are now known. It was like a joke, but this is how Podavengers started. Somebody was like, Podavengers unite, and basically just like, I share, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. And we just jumped in, and it was a beautiful sight. Brought tears to my eyes.
It's like any kind of MegaCon or Comic-Con convention. Everybody just comes together. But I feel like you needed like the GIF in there with Doctor Strange and was it Dr. Wu or Mr. Wu, whatever his name is. He's like, you wanted more? Like, is this everyone? You wanted more?
Yes, I did want more because he banned us. He banned all but one because somebody was like, one podcast was Fantasy Friendship. They're like, I want to be friends with him and get him because I feel like if we get him to listen, then maybe the whole world's in your hands. And so he was the only one not blocked for a while, and then he got blocked too. But yeah, we all just came together and lit this dude up. And let that be a lesson to you kids. You're not safe on the internet.
Don't mess with geek podcasts.
Don't fuck with geek movie podcasts. Don't fuck with
they will
don't
assemble
fuck with
and
podcasts.
avenge.
You think you can troll, but little do you know, we're gonna come and find you. And that's,
you
that's
can
the
do these
moral
things, Nemo, but
of the story. And
all right,
it was beautiful. That's
it
all
was
I have to say
beautiful.
about that one.
That was so beautiful.
It was. I just thinking about it right now, I could cry right now. But anywho, moving along, what kind of news? Do we have any news before we kind of get into why the Celtics are the best NBA team and then why Aaron Rodgers should be everybody's Lord and Savior?
Yeah, I have a couple things. Okay, so Hop Culture Mag did a top 12 breweries for 2020, and there were 2 Florida breweries on there. Whoops, I just knocked something over.
Oh my
one of them, Jay Wakefield, and one of them was Green Bench, so shout out to Florida breweries. But the number one was Weathered Souls, and they were picked for their amazing beer and their Black is Beautiful initiative. So, yes, I don't think anybody's surprised, but still I felt like they deserved the recognition. And we did have them back on at the very beginning of this, and it's crazy how just like I feel like we had Marcus on like before everything just took off. So I think that was really cool that we were the first.
We talked to them when it was like 500 breweries, right?
I don't even think it was. I think it was like 300 something, and we were all shocked. So Yingling I feel like they're jumping the shark. They are about to release a beer called Raging Eagle Mango Beer, and this is their attempt to reach a younger audience.
How do you
I don't
do,
know if that's
fellow
what
kids?
early 20-year-old kids. The one is a Raging Eagle mango beer.
Yes. Well,
I don't know.
kids want seltzers these days. Okay. I don't know. What do the
Okay.
kids want? I'm old.
I have one other piece of news that isn't actually beer related, but I thought it was really interesting. My daughter found, she's big into history and everything. And so she found this story. There's a little island in between Canada and I think Iceland or Greenland, somewhere out there. Nothing grows on that. It's basically just like a rock or whatever. And Canada and Denmark have been at war over this little island for a few decades. And what they do is they take turns going to the island, putting their flag there, and leaving a bottle of whiskey or Danish schnapps.
Ooh.
And so when the other person goes to claim their flag, they take the flag down, and I'm guessing they drink the other person's alcohol. I don't know. So this is what two countries who are incredibly nice people, when they go to war, they just put their flag down and lay down a bottle of alcohol, and they leave.
Well,
And this is actually going on. And I have the link. I will share it on the page. Yeah, to this day.
I mean, you don't not just get a free bottle of liquor and just let it sit there and age. No, you're gonna drink it. That's the best game of capture the flag ever. How do I get this game of capture the flag?
I guess become Canadian or Danish, or a Canadian citizen or a Danish citizen.
I would do.
But no, my daughter's telling me this, and I like didn't believe her. And I'm like, can you send me that link? And I'm like reading this. I'm like, this is Hops newsworthy material. I like it.
If I could be a Canadian citizen, I would do some filthy, dirty things. Like, I wouldn't like. Oh my! You want me to drink a gallon of maple syrup? I would do it. You want me to do whatever? Oh, I would do dirty things. I love Canada. I
drink a gallon of maple syrup in Idaho. I'm sure it's not illegal.
That's true. I mean, I would drink a gallon of maple syrup just for the fun of it. But
I think Buddy the Elf has done it.
Yeah, he can't get diabetes. I probably would get diabetes if I just drank a gallon of maple syrup. But that's okay. It's worth it.
I'm gonna drop.
Be like Super Troopers.
Right now.
I do have a little bit of.
Yeah, Super Troopers. That's right. I forgot about that.
Leader Cola.
I did have one other thing. Have we discussed the new logo that is Anchor Brewing?
We haven't discussed it yet, but I know that they were getting a lot of shit for their logo changing, and people were like up in arms, and they were basically like, "Look, we got to change with the times while also keeping us, like our spirit of beers, that kind of thing." And I mean, sometimes you just got to rebrand. If you've been around long enough, a rebrand, it's not even rebranding.
Well, they also sold to Sapporo, I believe. Whoever owns Kieran owns Anchor now. So I think that's part of the rebranding. Yeah. Oh yeah, they sold out a couple of years ago.
Motherfuckers. They're dead to me.
So they're no longer craft, but we still give them props because they started the whole craft beer revolution.
That's true.
And I still like their they better not change those Christmas labels. They better still have those gorgeous vintage Christmas labels.
Oh, have they begun the war on Christmas? Is that what this is about?
I hope not.
Oh, don't let conservative Twitter know.
For those of you who haven't seen the new logo, instead of like the classic Anchor thing, it's like bright yellow and like it looks like a twisted T. It really does. That's kind of what the new logo looks like.
It doesn't hit as hard though.
Hey-ho. Well played.
Thank you. Micah, real quick. I have to publicly apologize because I said that you had not sent me any veil. Well, I'm wrong. I didn't realize the Hornswoggle, and I think there's another one, is the veil. And so I was debating. Yeah, that's kind of a bad
Hornswoggler.
Hornswoggler. Yeah. Well, that sounds like a
Willy Wonka.
Oh, I was gonna say it sounds like a really bad porno, but
it does sound like.
Speaking of, I watched Avengers Grimm, and Lauren watched most of that movie. And speaking of Hornswoggle,
no, I watched like 15 minutes.
God,
of it.
That was like the worst movie on earth. I watched it because Game for a Movie podcast. That was one of the things that they do is like one of them has to watch whichever movie gets voted. And so I was like, you know what? That sounds like a movie I would willingly watch. And oh boy, it was bad. But some real quick, real news, some real, because we are Hops News after all, some real shit, if you will. There's a can shortage going on due to coronavirus, which we may pretend that coronavirus is over, but it's still very much a thing. And Chicago, there's actually something from the Chicago Tribune that there is a brewery that usually does like, they have like this little beer. They do their stouts. They're known for 8-ounce cans of stouts, and they can't do those anymore because of the can shortage. They had discontinued their 8-ounce can of stouts because their thought was if we give them an 8-ounce can of stout, then more people are going to buy it and they're going to drink it in one sitting. Because how many times you go and buy a giant stout or you get a pastry stout and you just can't finish the whole 16 ounce because
No, you got to share it.
yeah, you got to share it around. Well, that was their thing is they made them 8-ounce cans, and because of the can shortage, and so really what it means is breweries like the bigger breweries are having no problems getting cans, but a lot of these smaller breweries are not able to get these cans, which is going to really hurt their business. And in times like now, it sucks because I don't want to see any small brewery go down because they all of a sudden can't can their beer.
Right. Well, I mean, this has been going on for a little bit, and it's probably, hurting a little more now. But anybody out there who's going to breweries and getting crowlers or anything, bring your growler. That's the most eco-friendly thing you can do. It's the most cost-beneficial thing for the brewery, and it doesn't affect the cans. I know we all love the sweet can art, and I'm definitely 100% guilty of that too. But when you're getting that one beer that you've had the can art before or something, bring a growler. Of course, bringing a growler is like remembering your bags at the grocery store. It doesn't always happen.
Yeah, for sure. But that's a thought that counts because yes, I will sacrifice some beautiful can art if it means being able to actually have these breweries open, because eventually this will be over and then they can get back to the can art. Hoping
one day.
But that's all we have for news. Micah, did you have anything newsworthy? Or I'm sorry, Thor. My mistake. Anything happening in the other realms that we should know about beer wise?
Well, I've drank most of my father's mead that he left me. And he's dead now.
Oh, spoilers.
This is why he drank.
My brother is dead. My mother is dead. But I have the rabbit. Where is he? And I have my new
He's dead
hammer.
too because the snake ate him. That's a lightsaber.
My new hammer.
Wait a second.
New hammer. Is that a lightsaber?
It's all under one. Thor traded in the Stormbreaker and hammer to get a lightsaber. He saw what Luke Skywalker could do, and he was like, "I gotta get me one of those."
Oh yes.
But you're still
son
in
of
charge.
Skywalker.
Of course you.
I hope his whoever he fights doesn't have Beskar armor. Did I say it right? Beskar.
Speaking of Luke Skywalker, did you guys see that Elizabeth Olsen
Wandavision
said that apparently there's going to be a cameo in WandaVision that rivals Luke Skywalker? Now, if it's anything less than Professor X or Magneto, then that's going to be real disappointing because we all expect Doctor Strange Doctor Strange is going to show up, right?
Magneto would be better because that's her dad.
Are you my papa?
But I think it's just going to be the Pietro.
Who do you think it's going to be?
I think
it's going to be Tony.
No, please. The MCU needs to move on from Tony Stark. It better not.
Maybe it'll be Wolverine.
They need to move on from Tony Stark.
No, I mean, what will Wolverine be like? He'd be like, Wanda, stop screwing with reality or I'll kill you with my claws.
It's going to be a rehash of X-Men 3 where he's like getting torn to pieces, going after because he's simping so hard for Jean Grey. He's like, Jean, I am your simp number one. And he's getting torn apart and he's like, my love is undying. And like, but she's like, sorry, I like Cyclops. And he's like, fuck, I'm going to kill you anyways. But I'm not doing it out of love. And really, I'm not sending you back to that douche.
X3 is such garbage.
We don't talk about that.
It is garbage.
The third movie's typically aren't very good.
Yeah, I dragged my boyfriend to that at the time. He didn't want to go. And then like we're in the theater and he's looking at me, he's like, seriously? I'm like, I didn't know it was going to be like this.
And folks, that's why he's an ex. He broke up with her that night. And kids, that's how I met your mother. No, I seriously, I think it would be really badass if somehow Professor Xavier shows up. And
which one? McAvoy
I
or
would
Stewart?
say Patrick Stewart, but he's probably too old to really commit to the MCU at this point. So, and I thought McAvoy did a great job, though. Deadpool's just in the background trimming fake hedges. He's like, "Why is this background fake?" Or fake.
That would be amazing.
He's just back there. That would be hilarious. That would be good. But I dead ass. I think it's got to be Magneto. Now there are leaks from episodes 5 and 6, but those leaks.
Let's not say that though, because
I'm not going to say what it is, but I don't think that's what she's referring to. So
yeah,
I'm going to go with Magneto. I would love Professor Xavier because he's probably one of the only ones who could really match, like, get on, like, hey, stop this. Something's going on with your mind. Whoever's controlling you. So
What if it's the Fantastic Four?
No, now Sword
They
did
teased the
kind of hint.
Fantastic
They
Four.
did. They did.
Exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did. How?
I don't know if it
Yeah.
would be Xavier. Maybe Doctor Strange.
Well, Doctor Strange
Yeah.
is the obvious at this point, right? So it's
Yeah,
got to be
that
Doctor
wouldn't be like
Strange.
showing up though.
So
It only makes sense. That's
they did tease Fantastic Four because they have the astronaut program. So I have a feeling there's going to be astronauts going on a space mission, and then maybe since they talked about the radiation being cosmic that is surrounding Westview, what if that shatters, right, and it sends all that radiation outwards, and that's kind of maybe how Fantastic Four get their powers, and that's kind of their way to fold them in, as well as shattering the multiverse, which folds in everybody else.
well, I kind of think that, like in the in-game Rocket was like, when the snaps happened, all this radiation went across, the world, and Earth was like ground zero basically. So I think, in Doctor Strange, the Ancient One talks about how they pull dimensional energy to weave spells and do magic. Well, I feel like that Wanda's always had that ability to weave the spells. Obviously, she does because of the comic books. That's her powers. But someone is manipulating her to pull on the dimensional energy that happened from the snaps, and she's pulling that, and she's created her own reality out of her own torment or issues that she's got going on. Because obviously she's in this little happy make-believe world, just like House of M. But yeah, I think that's what's going on.
So then my question is, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't think she's the ultimate villain. I know some people kind of want her to be, but also the fact that Lieutenant Trouble was saying it's Wanda, it's all Wanda. Like with what they're doing in here, there's no way it's gonna be Wanda. They're not telling us that. So, but a lot of people have said, oh, they think it's Mephisto, but then somebody else had another theory. They're like, no, too many people think that it's gonna end up being somebody else.
Not just somebody else. Rob from Comics Explained said he thinks it's somebody else.
I think so. I heard it. I've watched so many freaking
Isn't
things,
the other
and I've heard more
theory?
than
I think it's Nightmare. Nightmare might be, or I don't know, because there's no way they're definitely bringing in another bad guy. It's not just her on her own. I feel like maybe she made a deal with somebody somehow. Yes, she created this reality, but also maybe at the same time there's like a deal made, which the comic book classic is Mephisto. The kids are a part of him, so I feel
part of his soul.
I feel as though that's the easy answer, but maybe it's not, and maybe it's somebody else. I don't know. We'll see.
We don't know. The devil's
Well,
in details.
That's not the only place she is.
Well, I think that maybe like Mephisto might be involved with the kids, but I mean, well, in the comics, there are these ancient lords like Sidorak, Mephisto, Nightmare. I can't remember the other two, but I think Nightmare was, he was supposed to be the villain in Doctor Strange, too. So
yeah,
he could be pulling the strings because he's been trying to manipulate a reality to gain something, whatever that is. So Doctor Strange show up, team up with Wanda, take him out, then all of a sudden we get Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, and they all team up, and everybody's happy finally because they get their Spider-Verse, and
am I the only one
Juggernaut shows up.
I don't want all these Spider-Men in the next Spider-Man movie. Am I alone in this? I don't want all these Spider-Men in the next Spider-Man movie because we've yet to really see a full I just want. He hasn't been on his own yet. It's either been Tony Stark or whomever.
Yeah.
And now we got to fold in 9 different Spider-Man. Now, don't get me wrong.
Well, they may just be cameos. Who knows?
Maybe.
But we need this.
Or the
where they're
end
all
credit
pointing at
scene.
each other in Spider-Man outfits. I hope to God we get that scene.
Who are you?
Okay, what beer did you open, Mash?
I opened up Coronal Mass Injection. Danger, danger. It's actually ties in with WandaVision. You know why? Because it's brewed and canned in Lakewood, New Jersey. It's really good. It's a triple IPA with lactose. You really get the lactose kind of flavor from it. It's a little thick with 2 C's, if you will. It's 10.2% and extremely heavily oated in weeded Northeast style triple imperial India Pale Ale, hopped with Simcoe, Sultana, and Columbus. Then copiously dry hopped with Lupulin, Mosaic, Lupulin Citra, Columbus, Montui, I can't pronounce that, and Nelson Sauvin. So there's a lot going on in this. It's time due to drink this. This kind of reminds me of like a Lord of the Rings beer, so I was maybe saving it for a Lord of the Rings episode. But my co-host might.
I don't know if
never
anyone knows
actually-
that, but I haven't seen that.
My co-host Lauren, Hoppy Mommy here, might never actually watch Lord of the Rings. So if you're watching, I need a new co-host, especially for the Lord of the Rings episode.
And you need to watch 15 seasons of Supernatural.
Yeah. I feel like the 3 extended editions of Lord of the Rings are probably longer than that 15 seasons of Supernatural all put
dear
together.
God.
Just don't watch the extended. Just take your time. Watch Lord of the Rings. We're gonna get there someday. Also, I don't know if anybody knows this, but the Super Bowl is going on Sunday. So
Dun, dun, dun.
honest to God, I know the Packers, they haven't been in 10 years. I normally am excited for the Super Bowl, but this year I'm just not excited for the Super Bowl. I haven't watched any NFL coverage. I haven't done anything. And normally I'm like consuming, I don't care who's in it. But I think I so truly felt that this was the Packers' year, only to be let down. I'm still going to watch it. I'm going to Las Vegas, going to visit my heterosexual life mate, and I'm still going to watch the Super Bowl. I'm going to get wasted. I'm going to get drunk. I'm 30. I can't say wasted. I'm too old for those days.
Get chocolate wasted.
But this makes me think, like, what were some of the best Super Bowl parties that you guys can remember? Micah, we don't have to talk about the Super Bowl 28-3. We ain't got to bring that up. Micah's a Falcons fan, so he also knows pain. We know pain together. Some more
I'm
than
a
others.
Dolphins fan.
Well,
I know
don't even
Ultimate
get it.
Pain.
you don't know. You don't count. The Packers have been in.
I guess we don't feel
Yeah.
pain anymore. It's just life.
You would think I'd be numb to it because the Packers have been to 4 NFC championships in like 6 years, but 7 years. I'm sorry, but here we are, same old song and dance, Aaron Rodgers. But what are some of the more memorable Super Bowl memory parties or memories that you guys might have? We'll start with you, Hoppy. What do you got?
So I have one about maybe 3 years ago. Josh and I, my husband, decided to go to Ellipsis Brewing before we were going to a Super Bowl party. We're like, oh, we'll have a couple beers and we'll go to the Super Bowl party. So we walk in and I see a couple people that look familiar and they're like, hey, we're having a bottle share. Come over here. Yeah, I barely remember the Super Bowl party, but it was a great time.
I was there, I think. Maybe. Was I?
Yeah, but it's just so hard. Like when you stumble into it, and we even had it happen recently. We went over there, but it's COVID season now, so I'm like, oh, that's okay. And they just kept bringing me like tasters of things. And of course, when you go to a bottle share, it's not like here's a 4% Pilsner, here's a 5% lager. No, it's here's a 12% barrel aged, bourbon stout that's absolutely amazing that there's only like 40 bottles of, and here you have to try it. Oh, and here's another one after that, and then another one, and it's like they're all just absolutely amazing beers. So we're just drinking all of these. And of course, my husband's like, here, try this one. I know you're going to want to try this one. And I'm like, I am done. And so we had a lot of fun. I remember going to the Super Bowl party, but that's about
I would have probably
it.
thrown up. I'm going to be honest. That sounds, I would
Yeah.
I would have needed Waffle House on emergency call, or I would have died.
If I throw up, it is game over. I did not throw up.
I have a tendency sometimes if I drink too much. So if I don't come back next weekend, just know I threw up and died on the Las Vegas Strip this weekend. Micah.
And then I'm going to find a co-host that's seen Supernatural.
Well, the reason is I actually died on purpose because my co-host won't won't do a Lord of the Rings episode, won't do a Star Wars
I didn't say I
episode.
won't watch it. I said I would.
Anyways, Micah, what do you got? What's your more memorable time that you've had at a Super Bowl?
So when the Patriots played the Eagles, I don't remember what year that was.
2017, the 17 season.
No. The first time they played the Eagles.
Oh,
When
that's way back.
McNabb-
Wow, that's Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
Terrell Owens had a broken leg, and he still he broke
Yeah.
his fibia or something like 3 weeks prior, and he put up monster yardage that game.
No, we were just like me and I was with my cousins, and we were just like throwing back shots and drinking beers and like I didn't even watch but maybe like a quarter of the
The
game.
game was boring,
and
anyways.
I woke up on the floor. They said I laid down in front of the TV. He had one of those old school big screen TVs, like tube TVs, and like I laid down in front of it and curled up in a ball and went to sleep. And they were like, "What the hell?" And then I woke up and I was like, "What happened?" They were like, "It's Patriots won." I was like, "Oh man."
Of course they did. Of course they did. Little did we know that was what their second one, because I think their third one was against the Panthers. I don't know. Growing up in New England, it gets old, and I fucking hate the Patriots. But I actually like Bill
Everybody
Belichick.
hates the Patriots unless you're a Patriots fan.
I like Bill Belichick. I absolutely loathe with every fiber in my body Tom Brady. He is a good football player. The Tom Brady person, fucking hate him. I hate him. I want to punch his face. He's got such a punchable face. His wife complains about literally everything. Oh God, Tom has nobody to throw to. Like, just stop. Just stop. The man has like 10 Super Bowl appearances now. And I knew as soon as the Packers are going to play the Bucs, I was like, watch, some tomfoolery is going to happen. And sure enough, the game was called, or wasn't very called, until the last play when Tom Brady needed to bail out, and that's why they're going to the Super Bowl. And that's how I feel about that. I don't really have too many.
Well, he has.
What? Say it.
He has mind powers. He's a cyborg.
They were letting stuff go
all
all
built
day,
in
and then all of a sudden,
Europe somewhere.
Like, God, just don't even get me started. I'm not going on this tangent right now. I'm not doing it. I'm just not, for my mental health, I'm not doing it. What I will do is, I don't have any crazy Super Bowl party memories, but I think my biggest Super Bowl regret was the 2010 when the Packers went to the Super Bowl and they won it. Well, I was an idiot and was in Vermont with an ex-girlfriend of mine at her house that weekend, rather than watching the Super Bowl with my heterosexual life mate Josh, and who's also a Packers fan. So I spent it with somebody who doesn't even like football in a dark, dingy basement, and then I drove 3 hours home afterwards, like, woo, instead of spending it with a fellow Packer fan going crazy. And I feel like I really squandered it, because who knows when the next time I'm going to get to see a Packers Super Bowl again and feel that happiness in my life. The light.
Did you at least have some good Vermont beer?
No, actually, because I was 20. I was 20 at that point, and I didn't know craft
wow.
beer.
You didn't drink when you were 20?
I did. Okay. I didn't know craft beer at this point in 2010. Like, what, Bud Light? Hell yeah, let's go crush Bud Lights, dude. Come on, kid. We're gonna go crush a keg of Bud Lights. We're gonna throw some pong around, okay?
For decades.
Yeah. So I didn't. And that's
David. David in the comments mentioned sharing a keg of Hop Slam with Jay one year. I believe we've actually heard that story.
I think we have.
I mean, that's a keg of Hop Slam.
A keg of Hop Slam?
That sounds amazing, but it's also very ambitious.
And the fact that Jay is still alive today to really tell us about it speaks volumes.
Yeah, I remember that story. You don't hear keg of Hop Slam too often.
No, you don't. I didn't know they made kegs of Hop Slam, to be honest with you.
Sure, some places will make kegs
of
whatever you want.
That's like the greatest thing ever.
That's fair. I can't imagine like a keg of an IPA, though. Ooh, I couldn't drink a whole keg. I need like a lager or an ale in my keg.
That's not bad.
I could drink IPAs all night.
I did a keg stand.
Side note, Brad asked if we had an official announcement. So last week, Brad from Common Law Brewing joined Hoppy and myself on the Geeks, and we had a little. We talked about superhero beers and came up with 5 recipes, and we put it out to a vote. And what ultimately won was Aquaman, which was a Goza with curry in it and lime and coconut. Sounds delicious. What ended up actually happening is that the Scarlet Witch was already going to be made, which is a Brute IPA with Zinfandel grapes.
Oh, I got the Wolverine ones.
Then what happened from there is Daredevil, the hazy red IPA, is also getting made. And then he was like, you know what? Fuck it. I might as well. And then he just texted me. He was like, I got the Flash recipe with Kvike yeast, which is a red ale. And then at that point, Brad was basically just like, you know what? I might as well just make them all. So the winner was Aquaman.
But one of them is super ambitious.
The winner is us, the consumer. And the true winner is going to be this Wolverine one. So the Wolverine one is a Japanese style lager that's going to be aged in Canadian whiskey barrels. And that's going to take probably a year or two to really come out. However, the others he's already started working on. He sent me how they have the list of the recipes. The recipes are loaded in there. And man, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. I wish I could draw because I really would love to draw some cover art for these beers. I already had the idea for Aquaman, but like if there's any like beer can artist out there that happen to hear this, hit us up. I'll pay you to do these. I don't even care because I want to see the art.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you on Common Law's behalf to draw the art for these cans. But yes, so the winner was Aquaman. However, the winner is really all of us who drink beer and love beer because there are 5 really great beers going to be coming at you from Common Law, which it's in the works. It's looking like right now, I don't want to jinx it, but summer of 2021 in Spring Hill, Tennessee, they're going to be opening up. And Hops Geek News, and the dudes from Hop Heroes, because I remember when we had them on, we invited them to join us, and they're still looking forward to it. So we're going to be there, maybe to be the first time all of our hosts meet in person. And hopefully we get to meet a lot of the family members at Common Law Brewing, which I couldn't think of a better place to do it because Tennessee is beautiful.
And we've been talking about Common Law Brewing since it started, and Brad was one of our first Hops News family members. So yeah, that's going to be amazing. And what I actually just realized what I dropped a few minutes ago was the little Aquaman. So if you follow us on the Instagram, Hops Geek News, we're going to be doing a giveaway tomorrow because Aquaman won, and because we tried to give him away a few months ago, and the only person that liked it or commented didn't follow us.
We've made it bigger since then. I like to think
So we're up to 300 followers. So we have an Aquaman pop, and I got 2 Aquaman comics today. So we're going to be posting that on the IG tomorrow and doing a little giveaway. So
we're
the
doing
deal.
A giveaway with some stickers. We have stickers. Wow, I think I have a green screen up because it can't show the color. But we are doing stickers, and we're going to do a nice giveaway on behalf of Aquaman winning and behalf of our collab with Brad, and I'm excited. Josh, your husband's in the comments right now saying he wants that. I don't think Josh.
Okay,
first of all,
yeah, he wants it.
First of all, hold on.
If he can tell me who plays Aquaman, he can have it. Technically, he paid for it. Not technically.
Without Googling, of course, because my man's going to Google. I'm on to you. I know it. So, Brad
so I can ask what children's movie was referenced in the movie Aquaman.
Yes. Brad shares that Daredevil's first up on the brewing schedule, by the way. So, Daredevil action. And if you listen to our episode, that's actually that's Brad. That's his favorite comic book character. And their bar, when you go into the brewery, the bar is he's planning to have a bunch of different Daredevil comics and things, all like underneath.
Because it's legal.
Because it's all legal. Yes, he is a lawyer. He is well versed in bird law, and it's all going to be legal themed. It's going to be really cool. I'm excited.
Hence, common law.
Haha, the common law. And he likes dad puns and dad jokes and law puns. So if you've got really good ideas for like good beer names that have to do with that, go ahead and let him know at Common Law Brewing on Instagram and on Facebook. Let them know some funny things, because who knows, if they choose yours, you could get a free beer or entered for one. Or I knew he was doing something last night. I just can't remember what it was, so I apologize.
Oh, yeah. I put in a few things, but like I was trying to come up with good legal puns mixed with beer things because I feel like I should be really good at that. And my husband and my daughter are just like staring at me. Oh, my husband said he wasn't talking about the toy. What was he talking about? What does he want?
I don't know.
Oh, the beer. That's probably what he wants.
Your husband
I know
like
he doesn't really want, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
No.
We're gonna transition to something we do care about, which is the NBA. Did you guys hear the other day that LeBron was in Atlanta? Funny enough, they were playing the Hawks, and there's a female who, her and her 95-year-old, he's actually 60, sugar daddy. He's a fucking sugar daddy. This dude's 60, she's 25. Come on. Although, what's the craziest thing you ever done for money? I'd do anything twice. I'm not above putting out for a sugar mama. So if there's a rich old lady out there, hit me up. What's up? How you doing?
Your wife.
Anyways, yeah. So apparently the guy was like jabbering at him courtside, and then he like maybe said something like, shut your ass up. I would have said the same thing. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Who are you? You're courtside, because they let 5 fans enter the arena. And so she got kicked out. She took to like Instagram Live and was, fuck you, LeBron, I'll fuck you up and all this shit. And the internet has been so ruthless to her. I love it because she's talking a big game, and just because like come on now. Come on. You only are in this position because you decided to go after some fucking bag of bones.
Man, I love that, man. Man, LeBron was like, yo, check out Courtside Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Courtside Karen.
He called her Courtside Karen. And he's like, Courtside Karen, big mad right now. And it was hilarious. And she was like on Instagram afterwards. And yeah, this dude is no joke. The dude's 60. She's 25. Like, hey, man, all the power to you. But yeah, it was just hilarious. She's like, I'm going to kick your ass. Like, okay, you're going to go up to 6'8" LeBron James, who's built like a fucking brick stone wall, and you're going to kick his ass? Like, okay, be serious.
That's because she thinks you won't hit her back.
Well,
that's
yeah,
why. That's what the Karen.
That's that.
You can't hit me back.
Privilege right there showing, and it was hilarious.
Man, it's just like when you're like NBA games, man. Like LeBron's the best player in the league. And he will be till he retires, and people are going to say whatever they can to him just because he's the best. They did the same thing to Jordan, Kobe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just
Jordan was.
Man,
I mean,
Jordan's absolutely the best
I would
player.
absolutely I've gone to sporting events and I've heckled players, of course, but it's always in good fun. I've never really taken it to the point where like, no, let me come off the court side, dust off my Crocs, and go fight some NBA player who's going to beat the shit out of me.
Well, man, Detroit was throwing batteries around our test. I mean, it gets hard, man.
Somebody threw their beer at the Malice in the Palace. Somebody threw their beer and hit Ron Artest. That's what happened.
Oh, it was a beer. Okay.
It was a beer.
Oh,
I remember that. Yeah.
And
then Ron Artest decided to jump on in and start throwing.
I'm sorry,
hands.
Meta
World Peace, but the people the people who throw batteries are actually Philadelphia Eagles fans. They've been known to throw batteries on the field. Unlike Bills fans who just throw dildos. Philadelphia Eagles fans get a little crazy.
Did they really do that?
Yeah, didn't you see a few years ago? Like there were Bills fans who threw a dildo onto the field, and the ref had to like pick it up and remove it. It was hilarious.
Oh my god!
Like I just don't pay attention to the Bills.
The Bills are good. I love Josh
Allen.
I love.
They're good now. Yeah.
No, the Bills. Yeah, they're known. This was before they were kind of known for jumping on tables. They were just known as throwing dildos on the field. It's a huge thing. Eagles fans are known for throwing batteries. It's a very dick move. And David actually says that Magic is the GOAT. I disagree. Respectfully.
No,
Magic Johnson.
No,
I mean,
not.
I think
Bird.
Jordan's still the
not
GOAT.
Even Larry Bird. Jordan's probably the GOAT.
Okay.
I
I'm gonna rank him.
like Jordan right now.
Johnson was amazing though.
I'm gonna rank them right now since I'm on the air.
Okay.
I have a little NBA podcast if people don't know about it.
Plug it.
Plug
that shit.
Plug it. Yeah.
But Jordan, Chamberlain, Magic,
what?
Kareem.
I'm liking this.
And then at number 5, people are going to be like, why isn't that, like Larry Bird or whatever, but it's Kobe for me. I'm
Kobe. Okay.
You
Yes,
had me till 5.
I grew up in that era, and Kobe's the second best shooting guard ever. Dwayne Wade's the third.
But you got to throw some respect to Larry Bird a little bit because the things that he did on the court were pretty. It's hard for me to rank my top 5.
Larry Bird had,
especially all time.
Yeah, this is the argument that it's like there is, in my mind, certain times are our greatest of all times. But when you break down
like 1992,
what they did on the court, on the field, on the rink, like Wayne Gretzky, greatest of all time because nobody's going to touch his stats. However, if we're in football and you're judging it by Super Bowl rings, okay. But if you're really looking at statistics, then it starts to like there's greatest of all time at things that they've done statistic wise, and I don't know. That's just me breaking it down.
In any sport, it's the person that has that killer mentality. It's whoever kills the opposing team the best, and that's why I put Kobe at 5.
Baby, that Mamba mentality.
But Michael Jordan, I think, I don't know, because Nolan Ryan was absolutely just a beast. But Michael Jordan, I think, in all of sports had the most intense killer mentality.
Yeah, Michael Jordan had that. Like he had that, and he's an asshole. Like let's not get it twisted. Michael Jordan's an asshole, straight up. But
he couldn't be messed with mentally. Like
no, he messed with you
nobody's
mentally.
been as consistent as him.
And,
but if you tried to mess with him mentally, it made him better. Whereas you see, LeBron's great and but he's not always consistent. Like Jordan was always consistent. You knew if you got him the ball, it was going to be good. Like that doesn't always work with LeBron.
My thing with LeBron is LeBron gives up. You can see it on the court.
Yes,
he'll give up because he'll stop playing defense. He'll walk slowly. He'll dip out. Yeah, LeBron.
He's changing. He's getting to that point. Like I think right now, in these last years that we have LeBron now, he might play till he's 42 or 43 because he's a cyborg like Tom Brady. But
invest millions of dollars into his body. Hell yeah, he will.
I think that I think he's finally getting to that point where he's just absolutely ruthless because he kind of has to be to win. Like before, it's like, okay, I'm paired up with Dwayne Wade. I'm paired up with Bosh. I'm paired up with Kyrie and K-Love. I'm paired up with AD. But at the end of the day now, with the way the NBA is going, especially since the Nets just put together this insane team, like LeBron knows he's going to have to be a killer. And I think it's coming out. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think it's coming out. And I want to see that.
Slowly, yeah. But I think he still has that give up. Like, you can get into LeBron's head. You can get into LeBron's head, which some teams do. And you've seen it because he'll kind of okay, I'm not running back on defense, things of that nature. Whereas MJ, he was balling out every night.
Well, I think with LeBron too is when he knew somebody else was gonna take the ball, he stood back, which can be good and bad. But I feel like there was times that he took a step back when he shouldn't have. Yeah. Whereas Jordan was always, "Give me the freaking ball and I'll make it happen." But I feel but it also depends. When he was on the Cavs, he knew he had to win it. So I felt like he worked harder when he came back to the Cavs than he did when he was on the Heat because he had the big three and he had, Birdman and he had all these other players, Ray Allen and whatnot. So he could depend on all of them. Whereas you didn't see him. He wasn't the one making the clutch shots because he didn't need to be.
And this actually makes me think I'm actually kind of glad the direction the NBA is going right now because we did have those super teams, right? There was a period where there was the super teams that kind of ended with Golden State after everybody loaded up on Golden State and they got 3 in a row. But now you're seeing twosies and threesies. So you got LeBron and AD out in LA. You've got Paul George.
Stacked the Lakers crazy.
Well, they stacked the Lakers. You've got Paul George and oh my gosh, I don't know why I just blanked on his name. Freaking what's his name? Kawhi Leonard out on the Clippers, and then you kind of have, you have Harden and you have Durant. I hate Kyrie Irving, so I'm not even gonna mention him as part of the super team. But then you got Giannis, who doesn't really he's kind of on his own out in the Bucks, but they're slowly building up that small market. But the point is, there's a lot of 2s, 3s. Rather than one team stacked with 6 amazing players. Now we're kind of building up twosies and threesies, which makes it more competitive in my mind.
Yeah, but I still think the Lakers are super stacked. I mean, they got Howard and they have everybody who's been trying.
I'm a Celtics fan, so I hate the Lakers.
I hate the Lakers. I've always hated the Lakers, and I hate Dwight Howard too. I think what he did to Orlando was shitty, and he's just gone from super team to super team. He just wanted a ring.
But yeah.
Well, he's in Philly now. And he's not doing nothing.
He got his ring.
5.
He got his ring.
7 and 5. Yeah. He got a ring, yeah. But he's 7 and 5. 7 points, 5 rebounds. I'm gonna sit down.
I used to love Philly too. Back when Allen Iverson played, I had the AIs. I had the jerseys, the blue jersey, the black jersey. I loved the Sixers.
Oh man,
they would lose to the fucking Lakers in the finals, and then the Nets took turns losing in the finals every year with Jason Kidd. But I used to love the Sixers. Now I hate them.
Well, AI was one of those players that I can do anything. And talk about a killer mentality. He was ridiculous, man. But Shaq and Kobe, you've got a killer in Kobe Bryant who is coming up, and you've got like the second greatest center to ever play in well, I'll say third because of Kareem, but third greatest center to ever play the game. Like AI is not beating that. He's not beating that, but he did a damn good job. And nobody could cross the ball over. Oh my God, nobody could cross that damn ball over. I wish I could. I dream about it in my sleep and wake up and feel great.
Jay's never going to let us host again because we've gone off on a huge basketball tangent. Yeah. Jay's not a basketball.
He's not. But nobody did it like AI was just phenomenal. The things he did with the ball. This reminds me of 2008. Kevin Garnett was always my favorite player growing up. I don't know why. I loved him on the Timberwolves. I think because I played the same position in basketball, and I also love just talking shit because it's so much fun. Win or lose, I still talk shit to you. And so that was kind of always his character, right? And so in 2008 when the Celtics won, I went to the parade, and I'm so mad because I had the most ballin' picture of Paul Pierce holding up the MVP trophy, holding up the actual the chip trophy, and I lost it. It was on like an old Facebook I had, and I deleted that one for some reason, and I can't find the picture. It haunts me to this day because I had the most insane picture of Paul Pierce, who I don't like the announcer Paul Pierce, but you can't deny that Paul Pierce back in his day was the truth.
Yeah, he was good.
So
I have a really good picture of me with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Hey,
in the mid-90s.
Never lost a game.
I would know, right? The undefeated. It's like
only basketball team to have never lost a game. So yeah, Jay's never gonna let us host again. I do. NFL and NHL are my two favorite sports. I'm a diehard Bruins fan. I love the Celtics. I fucking hate the Patriots. Go Pack, go all day. And I don't care about baseball too much. So
Boo.
Right now, I've transitioned to the Boston Bruins, who are doing really, really good. And until they also lose to Tampa Bay sports teams. So that's just a cycle of life for me. I'm kind of used to losing to Tampa Bay sports teams at this point.
Good thing they don't have a basketball team.
Yeah, but then the Celtics, they're good to lose to the Heat, which they did last season, as we all saw.
They did lose to the Heat. What a shame.
They did.
No one saw that coming.
I'll say this to all the viewers out there. If you're voting All-Star this year, if you care that much about the NBA, vote for Jaylen Brown. He is a dog. I love him to death. He's one of my favorite players in the league. Yeah, well, I like Tatum's going to make the All-Star team regardless, but vote for Jaylen Brown. Get him in there. I've been voting for him like since it started. Like I just really like him. But
the Celtics got some studs. They don't have that. The one thing I've always complained about the Celtics is they have Tice. They don't have that one big man that's going to change the game. And so that's I feel like that's always kind of held them back because you got Tatum, and then Tatum takes some dumbass shots in clutch time. He tries to do too much. Brown, you got Smart. Tice, he's the closest to it, but yeah, if they get that one big man, I feel like the Celtics are going to make a run at the chip because they're close already.
Well, that's Danny Ainge's fault. He should have signed Al Horford. He should have kept him there. Al Horford is a playmaker from the 5. He was great. I mean, just a great all-around player. He's got a great basketball IQ. They should have kept him there. He made Isaiah Thomas an all-star and an MVP candidate.
Yeah, he did.
Like they should have kept him there. But, he didn't vibe with Kyrie, and you didn't know what was going on. So
nobody vibes with Kyrie. Yeah. That's the thing is nobody vibes with Kyrie because Kyrie we don't have enough time to go over what I feel about Kyrie.
I'll stop.
I don't like Kyrie. That we'll go ahead and we'll wrap things up here. Otherwise, I'm going to go on.
I was going to say Micah should drop his exactly where to find the basketball podcast.
Go ahead. Where can we find the your podcast? Drop the name. Tell us where we can find it. If you want to give links, pimp yourself out here. This is your opportunity.
So you can catch me on Facebook at Tavern Geek. You can catch me on Twitter at Tavern Geek and Instagram. The podcast is called Tavern Talk of the NBA. And I've got 2 great co-hosts on there, the Zach Attack and Professor Dolk Banner. We hang out all the time and just break down basketball. It's a lot of fun if you just want to listen to some people ramble about the NBA and basketball and what the teams do and the players and stuff like that. But yeah, you can find me Facebook Tavern Geek, Twitter Tavern Geek, and Instagram Tavern Geek straight up. And I throw out a lot of nerd shit on there, so check it out.
Absolutely. Hoppy, what do we have coming up on Geeks? I know we have some pretty good stuff. We might be doing a pretty good episode tonight after this.
Yes, so we just dropped our Woodland Empire Volume 2. That's a brewery in Boise, Idaho. Great couple owns the place, so we talked a little bit about their 7th anniversary. We both drank their beer. Well, I think they drank their beer too. So we all drank their beer, and then we talked a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons. And if you haven't checked out our Geek episode, what we were doing at the beginning with some of the beer news is kind of how we start the Geek one, but we throw in mainly geek news, like here's a spoiler. Rhodey is going to be in Winter Soldier or Falcon and Winter Soldier. So that's one of our news points tonight. Yes, mind blown. So we do some of that. And then we always have a main subject we talk about. And we're always drinking too. And we throw in some beer news as well. And next week, we're going to be reporting tonight the GOAT of Marvel. I feel stupid saying GOAT. The greatest of all time superhero. Better than anyone there's ever been. James Howlett, a.k.a. Logan, a.k.a. Wolverine, is who we're going to be talking about tonight, and that episode will drop Monday, yes. So, yes, but I did want to reply to a few people. I'm always bad about doing this. It's so hard to do this and pay attention to the comments. It's hard to talk,
yeah, I agree.
So, yes, Matt made the comment, I guess some breweries over by him weren't allowing growlers because of sanitization, and he said the exact thing I've said from day one. If anybody, they should let brewery owners take over the CDC because they know sanitation better than anybody. Yeah. And Matt even said that. So, yes, I agree with you. Everything at a brewery is going to be tip top clean. Otherwise, your beer turns to shit. David is a huge Lakers fan.
He's blowing it up with the Lakers. I got my man.
Stop. We get it. They won. They took it all. Will they win again next year?
Hey,
I don't know. What are they, third in the West right
Until somebody else wins the ring, you speak your truth, man. You speak your truth.
Right. And then my dad mentions Dolphins undefeated. For anybody who doesn't know, the Dolphins were undefeated. Was it 77, 76? But hold on. No, it's funny, though. So there's a brewery in South Florida, Funky Buddha. Every year they release undefeated Saison. I still have
the Morning Wood, by the way, from them.
That's amazing. So undefeated Saison is released every year because still nobody else has been undefeated in an NFL season. So every year the Dolphins lose, and then they celebrate that nobody beat their 1970-something record that none of them were alive for when it even happened. I wasn't alive. And I don't know if there were any other comments. Oh, yeah, Brad will hit you up and talk about the beer and the giveaway. My mom says, "Go Bucks." That's new. I don't know.
Your mom just hates me. I thought me and your mom really had something special going, but it turns out she really hates my guts, and that's okay.
She's never said "Go Bucks" before. I understand. A month ago.
I'm an acquired taste. I often am just I'm too dumb for my own good, and I understand. It's cool. It's cool, but you don't have to attack me in that manner. We're in a public forum. I don't need this negativity in my life.
Why'd Josh call me a hater? I'm a hater.
Anyways, I forgot. Big news. I brewed my own beer for the first time, and it came out delicious. I hope all the bottles... I'm very nervous because I don't know if all the bottles came out great. For some reason in my head, I'm like, one bottle turned out, the rest aren't. But I brewed beer. It's called Heroic Tales Amber Ale. It's just, your generic amber ale. It's really good, but this could be the start of something beautiful. And I'm going to continue
beginning
down this
of a
path.
Beautiful friendship.
I might have a future in this business, guy. Kid, you might have a future in this business. That said, like Hoppy said, we just had Woodland Empire on 7th anniversary. If you're in the Boise area, which I know Matt is going to be soon because I am going to meet up with him, the Ada County Stout is their big release. That's coming out soon. And Rob and Keeley are two of the greatest human beings on earth. I love them so much.
They are so nice. And they just made that list of top, 30 breweries?
And Woodland Empire has made the list of top 50 breweries. And that they're the only Idaho one. And I don't care about Idaho as a state. But if you're a brewery in Idaho, I'm going to rep you hard. And I love them over there, what they're doing. And I can't wait to get together with those guys. Catch us at Hops Geek News on the Instagram. Catch us, look up Hops Geek News on Twitter. You can find our episodes by searching Hops News on any streaming platform. YouTube, Hoppy and I are slowly putting together a Beercation video playlist. I'm going to create one for Las Vegas. I'm going to create one also for Boise. She did one for Epcot. And if any of our Hops News family members, if anybody out there is listening and you want to create a video or just take a bunch of pictures and video and send it to me, I'll go ahead and I'll put it all together and we'll get it added to the playlist.
Your city.
We'll rep your city, make a beercation. That way people know the best breweries to go to when they come visit your city. And if you want stickers, we have stickers, Hops Geek News, and we still have our Hops News bomber jackets. If you want a t-shirt, we can make that happen. I've got the t-shirt on even. If you want shirts, let us know what you want.
We're making that happen.
We are. We're making anything happen. We make dreams come true. Cash Money Records, where dreams come true. Anything is easy, baby.
Cash
Leave
money,
it up to
y'all.
Weezy, baby. Find us Wednesdays. Hops Geek News airs every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And cheers, my good friends. We will see you next week.
Cheers.
I appreciate you hanging out and letting us take over your lives.